Are the shadow and narcissism linked? And if so, how? This is Hawk from Help a Hawk Healing, where we're freeing human hearts. If anything I say touches you or resonates with you, just touch your heart like this. In the description below, you'll find a link to the rules of the mind, which will help to add to what we're learning here. Also, you'll find another link to 101 questions, which will help you know a little bit better about where you are in your journey. We already know that our shadow contains our unrecognized and unwanted parts, but it also contains our outward-looking tendencies and how we look out. We're always looking out. We have two eyes. They view around us. We're always looking out. We're always on the lookout. We're always watching for. Our shadow helps us to understand how we're doing that. But we have to ask it questions. We have to listen to it. No matter what's going on, we have to figure out how to communicate with it. And it will communicate with us. While the shadow is the totality of our personality, narcissism is a personality trait. Now, what's the difference between that? Well, narcissism is our outward-looking personality requiring the outside to fulfill us. The shadow is everything that has been repressed, whether it be our light shadow or our dark shadow, whether it be the shining star on stage or whether it be the evil murderer backstage. Our shadow contains everything about us that we hide. And our conscious mind running at 40 to 100 bits per second, our subconscious mind running at 4 to 10 million bits per second, and our non-conscious mind running at trillions of bits per second, who do you think is actually in control? Now, of course, we do have to look outside of ourselves for things. Food, sustenance, camaraderie, things like that. However, it is how we are looking out that is the important thing. The shadow will often sit in our subconscious and use the narcissism to keep us safe, keep us in our comfort zone. If we're being beat up, we know we're real. If we're being abused, it's what we're used to. If we're abusing, it's what we're used to. It's holding us here, holding us in narcissism. Narcissus fell into his reflection. And that's what we do every single day. And we wake up and our mind starts going and reminds us of who we are. It is a challenge to learn to not let that happen. Narcissism has several stages and degrees, and so it is more terrifying as you go along. A narcissist at level 1 can look at themselves and say, oh, hey, that's a problem within me. A narcissist at level 2 can do the same thing, but will most likely not change it. And the sociopath is beyond all of it, is totally delusional. And the psychopath knows exactly what's going on, but isn't going to change a damn thing. In fact, psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made. Psychopaths are literally born without the physical mechanism for a conscience. Sure, they're very self-reflective. And they can imitate the most awesome people in the world. In fact, I've dealt with them. You know, from my perspective, I was a sociopath because I was just as sociopathic as the people I was involved with. Now, whether their delusion would say, yeah, I'm glad you're working on your problem and I have a problem, you're my problem, I was always my own problem to the most extent. However, they were also my problem. And until it was that I internalized it and said, okay, I'm not going to be my problem anymore. I'm going to find it. I'm going to get it out. It wasn't until that point that I truly realized that I was just as sociopathic as they were. And that was a hard pill to swallow. And I had to chew it up. And that sucked. It was a big, deep puddle of suck. It's not so deep anymore. And there's not so much muck. But it really seriously takes us getting to the point of saying, okay, if you're that way and you're reflecting me, how is it that I'm that way? And what do I do about it? Healthy narcissism is a protective self, and we all have to have it. Animals have it, everything. We all have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our body in order for our soul to keep having this experience of our body. If you don't believe that, that's fine too. But you do have to have a self-protective mechanism. It's when that self-protective mechanism grows to the point of you have to protect me, you have to, why aren't you, why aren't you, why aren't you, that we blow into true narcissism. And it's painful for everybody involved, especially if there are children involved. There can be some serious, serious aspects that those children are growing up with. So what do? Well, first thing we have to do is start working to convince the shadow that it is whole and complete within itself, that it is accepted, that it is loved. And then it will slowly begin to open up. And believe me, there's no fast tracking it. There are fast tracks to getting to the root of the problem. Most likely, there aren't any true fast tracks to getting rid of the problem. You have to work on it every single day. And talk therapy, people talk about, oh, I'm glad I get to go see my therapist. When I was involved in talk therapy with an LCSW and a psychiatrist and another person at different points, talking about it don't solve it. You can talk about the broken heart all you want. It don't unbreak it. You can talk about, I need a heart surgery all you want. Come back next week, we'll talk about it again. Doing that constant check-in is keeping this water stirred up. So unless you go in and fix the heart problem and then close it up and allow it to heal, you're not getting anywhere. So just talking about the problem, hey, that's not rebuilding the engine. That's not fixing the heart. So what do? I use metanosis, or hypnosis, if you will, to go in there every single day, to work with my clients, to go in there and find the root of the problem. Because if you pull a dandelion out and it just breaks off, tomorrow you've got two. But if you go in and you very carefully move everything around and pull the root out, then there's no more dandelions. It's that simple. Our narcissistic traits from the point of view of mental and emotional disorder need to be eliminated for the most part. There is some healthy narcissism. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the manipulation, the lying, the cheating, the backstabbing, the holding other person accountable for you not feeling good, the emotional hostage taking, all of that stuff needs to be eliminated. I'm whole and complete within myself. Everything I need is within me. Needs to be the attitude, needs to be the realization. I am whole and complete within myself. Everything I need is within me. I am enough. I love myself. I am free. And I am unshakable. And when you get to the point of unshakability, the other person will notice. And when you can just sit there and calmly talk about it, no matter how hard they're going off, no matter what they're throwing, that's where you want to be. Controlling others, working to control the circumstances and manipulating things, they thrive off that. They literally do. Psychopaths will literally manipulate people around a circle. Sociopaths will too, but will manipulate people around a circle for decades. That's why you find a lot of them in politics. That's why you find a lot of them in big business. They are truly psychopathic. If I have to do this over here in order to have this effect 30 years from now, well, I'll start it in motion. And then sit back and go, oh wow, look at that. And no one ever suspects. The codependent and the narcissist are mirrors of each other. However, the codependent is seeking healing from within. They truly are. Deep down, the codependent wants to heal themselves. And while they might be looking outside of themselves for the healing, eventually most of them will realize, oh, I've got to do it. The narcissist, on the other hand, once past level 1, they most likely won't notice it, or if they do, they'll still say, Well, you got to do it for me. I used to hang out with a guy. No, you got to do it for me. I don't care what it was. No, you got to do it for me. No, you got to do it for me. No, you got to do it for me. How can I heal you? Even the shaman sitting there doesn't heal you. The shaman goes and finds out where you have to go in your life for you to get to healing. The shaman doesn't heal you. You heal you by doing what you're supposed to do. The Arthurian quest, the hero's quest. You have to do the work. And if you don't do the work, how are you ever going to build your own muscles? How are you ever going to feel confident within yourself that you can? The shadow's comfort zone is hiding, whether it's through addictive behavior, whether it's television or whatever. Food, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever. It can all be addictive behavior. And that's where the shadow wants to hide. That's where it wants to sit. Keep you in your comfort zone. Keep you safe. Keep you in the cave away from the saber-toothed tigers. However, if you don't go out and face the saber-toothed tigers, they're going to come in the cave. Because eventually the fire's going to burn out and you're going to need more firewood. The food's going to run out. You're going to need more food. Even if you've got clean water in the cave, that's not going to sustain you eternally. You have to eventually face the saber-toothed tigers, no matter how big or how little they are. And to be truthful with you, the bigger they seem, the louder they're shouting, the actual smaller they are. But they're tenacious. They will hold on. Some of my habits are holding on for dear life. And I get it. And I understand it. This is who I've been for 40-something years, or this is who I've been for 50-something years. I get it. However, it's that safety zone that's causing the problem. Knowing exactly where you are on the narcissistic spectrum will help, because it is a spectrum. And if you're barely in the self-preservation area, okay. But if you're farther along, it's going to take more time to come back. Knowing where you are is important, and there are many tests out there. I will tell you this, find one that has very specific questions as opposed to the general questions. Have you ever felt the need for vengeance? Well, who hasn't wanted to pop somebody in the head because of something they did? That doesn't mean you're a narcissist. That means somebody did something to you and you wanted to defend yourself. However, if that's a continued trait to where every time somebody does something to you, you want to pop them in the head, that's a narcissistic trait. So you have to find out. You have to go across that spectrum and find out where you are, and that will let you know. As I've stated on here before, I scored 294 on average of 5 tests when the score's maximum is 300. Wow. Now I score in the 14 to 20 area because I'm answering truthfully from where I am now. And it's very rare that I really seriously want to reach out and grab someone and say, look, although I admit, I do sometimes. We all fall back into this human body image and think it's real, and we want to choke the living crap out of somebody. And I get it. Believe me, I do. I don't grab them and choke the living crap out of them. That doesn't mean I don't want to. And I'll work to look at them and say, what is it about them that's making me want to choke the living crap out of them? And where is it in me? Anytime you see something about somebody else, first ask, where is it in me? And if it's not in you, if there's truly being a blown out a-hole, then walk away. And if you can't walk away, defend yourself. Sometimes they will not give you a chance to defend yourself, except for physically, and I've been there too. Meditation helps. Meditation helps. If you wanted the tips, meditation helps. No, you're not going to get your mind to be completely quiet. However, you can observe it. And once you get to observer eye, that's the place you want to be. You can see the thoughts happening. You can see the physical effects of them. It's a pain to finally get there and go, oh, why are you still thinking that thought? But it's like the needle on the record or the laser in the CD that's stuck because of a scratch, because of a wound. And so it's completely and totally going in one circle, playing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Go to the scratch, fix the scratch. Now it begins to play the song completely through. Anytime you're noticing your tendencies beginning to come up, I love myself, I am enough, I am free, I am unshakable. The more you repeat this, the more your mind has to work towards achieving that. And it will lead you to places, it will lead you to people, it will lead you to books, it will lead you to videos, it will lead you to whatever in order to get you there. Every day in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Every day in every way, my life is getting better, better, and better. Every day in every way, my body is getting better, better, and better. I am enough. I love myself. I am free and unshakable. The more you repeat these things, the more your mind has to get you there. That's why affirmations work. Point is, if you're using affirmations, use theta waves. Completely turn off the outside world, use the theta waves, and just go through those affirmations over and over again. Eventually, they're going to pull you out. I bless and accept these feelings because I know they're a part of me. I know that something is feeling them and they have a right to feel them. What is feeling them? What's at the root cause of them? Look for the root cause. My abuse recovery method here on YouTube, and pretty soon a larger version of it is going to be released. Use it. It's free. It will get you to the root cause of the situation and it will pull it out. It's angel-guided laser surgery. It's beautiful. It brings you back into your heart, and it changes those old beliefs. The old "you spot it, you got it" isn't just a euphemism. Because if you spot it, you got it. So if you see someone acting in that way, yeah, you got it. Now, once you get to a certain point of spotting it, and you know you ain't got it, you're like, wow, man, I know what they're going through. It's going to be a while for them. You really have to learn to take a step back, to observe the thoughts, to observe the feelings. One of the best tools I can offer you besides my abuse recovery method is the 5th Agreement by Don Jose and Don Miguel Ruiz. If you can learn to live by the 5 agreements of the Toltecs, your life will be magical and you will become unshakable. You truly will. It is an incredible book. Ethics, morals, principles, values, reduced to 5 steps. Be impeccable with your word to and about yourself and all others at all times. That's hard to do. That'll take care of 80% of the problems. Never take anything personally. That'll take care of most of the rest of the problems. Never make assumptions, ever. Always ask questions. Always do your best, realizing your best of yesterday and your best of tomorrow may not be the best of today, but you can give the best and most you can today. And always remain skeptical in a good way, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't even know there's things out there to know. How could you possibly know what you don't know? This is Hawk from Helpful Hawk Healing, where we're freeing human hearts. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for healing. I love you.